When we think about honey, it's easy to imagine bees simply collecting nectar and storing it in a hive. In reality, honey is the result of a complex biological process. Bees do not just transport nectar, they actively transform plant chemistry into a stable, balanced substance that the human body can work with gently. This transformation is one of the most fascinating examples of cooperation between plants, insects, and environment. The process begins with nectar, a liquid produced by flowers to attract pollinators. Nectar is not uniform. Its chemical makeup depends on the plant species, soil minerals, sunlight, altitude, and seasonal conditions. In Himalayan regions, flowers like rhododendron produce nectar containing unique plant compounds. On its own, this nectar is unstable and highly variable. It is not yet honey. When bees collect nectar, the first transformation happens inside their bodies. As nectar passes through a bee's honey stomach, it mixes with natural enzymes. These enzymes begin breaking down complex sugars into simpler forms. This step reduces instability and makes the liquid easier to preserve. At the same time, plant compounds from the nectar are gently integrated into the developing honey rather than remaining raw or concentrated. Back at the hive, the process continues. Bees pass the nectar between one another, adding more enzymes with each transfer. This repeated exchange further refines the chemical structure. Moisture content begins to drop as bees spread the liquid across honeycomb cells. By fanning their wings, bees slowly evaporate excess water. This dehydration step is essential. It prevents fermentation and allows honey to remain stable over long periods. What's important is that this process does not remove plant chemistry. Instead, it reshapes it. Compounds from nectar, including antioxidants and floral markers, remain present but in a balanced form. This is especially relevant for honeys made from plants with strong natural chemistry. Bees act as biological regulators, softening sharp edges and creating harmony within the final product. This transformation explains why honey behaves differently from raw plant extracts. Unlike isolated compounds, honey contains a complex matrix of sugars, enzymes, trace minerals, and plant molecules working together. This structure allows the body to interact with honey gradually, rather than all at once. Traditional communities recognized this balance long before modern analysis tools existed. Another important factor is timing. Bees only produce honey when environmental conditions are right. Flowering cycles, temperature, and daylight influence nectar flow. If conditions are unstable, bees slow production or stop entirely. This natural regulation ensures that honey reflects the healthiest expression of the landscape at that moment. Each batch becomes a snapshot of the environment rather than a standardized product. The hive itself also plays a role. Honeycomb cells are made from beeswax, a material with natural antimicrobial properties. This environment protects the developing honey while allowing airflow and moisture control. Nothing in the process is rushed. Balance emerges through repetition, patience, and collective effort. From a scientific perspective, this explains why authentic honey shows variation. Differences in color, aroma, crystallization speed, and texture are signs of natural processing, not flaws. Uniform honey often signals heavy filtering or blending, which removes much of the original complexity created by the bees. In the context of Himalayan honey, this transformation becomes even more meaningful. Bees gather nectar from high-altitude flowers exposed to strong sunlight and thin air. The hive process translates this complex plant chemistry into a form that supports steadiness rather than intensity. The honey reflects its environment without overwhelming the body. Ultimately, bees are not passive collectors. They are skilled processors. Through enzymes, evaporation, and careful storage, they convert raw nectar into a balanced natural substance. Honey is not simply plant juice. It is the result of biological intelligence shaped by millions of years of evolution. Understanding this process deepens appreciation for honey as more than a sweetener. It is a living example of how nature transforms complexity into balance. For more clear nature-based wellness insights, subscribe and stay connected.